Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is our 137th episode, I believe, looking at my notes, June 3rd, 2024, and welcome to Captain's Quarters Podcast. I'm a little dressed down. I still have my vest on, but I'm a little dressed down tonight because I've just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to cover a whole lot of things because, well, I'm trying to catch up still after being on a cruise last 2 weeks ago. But here we are. And how do you find our show, Davey? Why, you go to YouTube and use that QR code right there, and you can click on that and then follow us. Be a part of the crew, part of the podcast, and see all the things that we do. Every week, we have some pretty good set segments. I'm always having to think of my words right now. We have some great segments on the show, and we hope that you will join us every week and keep up with those segments. But YouTube, like us, follow us, hit the bell, do the whole thing that everybody says when you're watching a YouTube channel. We like it when people like us. On that note, we always do 8 bells to kick off our show, and it's an honorary thing that we do, sponsored by our friends at the Riker family of reenactors. And we hope that they are doing well. It's been a while since we've tipped a glass or 2 with the Rikers, and it's soon time to do that. But they sponsor 8 bells. And how many do we have tonight, Davey?
6.
6. Very good. Not too big a strain on my time. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. Elizabeth Hendon McCrae. Well, that sounds like a familiar name. Was an American actress who performed in dozens of television series and in 9 feature films, working predominantly in productions released between 1958 and the late 1980s. Among her more widely recognized roles was a recurring character as Luann Poovey on the sitcom Gomer Pyle, USMC, which was originally broadcast from 1964 to 1969. She was 88 years old. Richard Andrew Butch Johnson, an American archer. He competed in the Summer Olympics 5 times and was a part of the gold medal U.S. team at the 1996 Olympics and the bronze medal U.S. team in the 2000 Olympics. He was 68 years old. Eric Anderson, born Edward Eric Anderson in 1957, sometimes credited as E. Eric Anderson, was an American actor who starred in film and on television, was best known for his first film role in the 1984 horror film Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, as Rob Dyer. He also starred in the 1988 film Back 21 and in the 2002 drama film Unfaithful. He was 67 years old. Ronald Allen Edmonds, an American photojournalist who won the 1982 Pulitzer Prize in Spot News Photography for his coverage of the assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan's life. His work has appeared in publications around the world, including Time, Newsweek, Paris Match, Stern, Sports Illustrated, Life, and People. He was 77 years old. Martin Starger, yes, was an American entertainment businessman and producer. He led ABC Entertainment, a wing of the American Broadcasting Company, during its boom period in the 1970s, pioneering the creation of television shows such as Movie of the Week, Marcus Welby, MD, and Happy Days. He also pushed the limits of television broadcast, presiding over pioneering miniseries and specials such as Roots, Rich Man, Poor Man. He was 92 years old. Jack Venza, an American public television producer who is directly responsible for most of the theater and music programs that have been seen on PBS from its creation in 1970. From the early 1960s until his retirement in 2005, Venza brought such programs as NET Playhouse, Live from the Lincoln Center, American Playhouse, American Masters, and great performances to millions of viewers. He won a personal Peabody Award in 1998. He was 97 years old. There we have it. I see a few people in our gallery. Hello to Scarlett, always ladies first. Zachary Harker from Michigan, good to see you, mate. Jim Newenfeld, hi, there you are, you're here, I'm glad to see you. And of course, my own brother over in Panama City Beach, Ransom Mayhem. Good to see you all here. Hopefully a few others will be watching, and we'll have us a nice time. It's going to be a laid-back, easy show tonight, and it may be that way through the summer because Davey and I have some great plans to work on things. Mandy may be with us here in a little bit. She was sick when she got back from the cruise and had some personal things to deal with her business all last week, as it took me 5 days to recuperate from a week on the ship. And my own wife is not doing very well today. She's been very sick for about 5 days. So being on those ships is not always the best thing in the world. Upon that note, ladies and gentlemen, looking at what I have here, it is time for Mini Mayhem and the joke of the
Captain,
week.
we didn't do the ship's bell.
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't do the ship's bells. I just jumped right on in. Please give the ship's bells while I raise a toast. Here's an honor to those who have passed, their fans, and their families. Thank you very much, JB, for keeping me on the straight and narrow on that. Jim, I see that you say you have a heart procedure on the 20th. I hope that it goes well. Please keep us informed. We'd like to know that you're doing well and still going to be a part of our show always. If you're stuck in the bed for a little while, we have now a captured audience member. Upon that note, it is time for the Mini Mayhem Joke of the Week, sponsored by Salt City Comics, our good friend, the comic and artist out of Utah, who's done our new cartoon characters, and they're quite popular now. And we'd like to see what the joke of the week is. So Mini Mayhem, kick it off.
Ahoy, mates. Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week, sponsored by Salt City Comics. How do pirates prefer to communicate? Think about it, and I will give you the answer at the end of the show.
I might know that one, but I'll wait and see what the answer is. We'll give you the reveal at the very end of the show. We do that for a reason. If you think the joke is good enough, hopefully you will stay with the whole show. Tonight we got some interesting things to talk about and share with you. I just saw that Will the Historian popped in from North Alabama. Very good. We've got all compasses, all points of the compass showing up on our screen tonight. Very good. Quote of the week is by Spyglass Travel. I just ran into my good friend Kevin Rose, who owns and runs Spyglass Travel with his wife Angie. We talked for a few minutes on Saturday morning. He was getting ready to do a tour, and I told him that we were very happy with having him be a part of our show, and we're going to try to get him to extend for another year. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a little while. For now, though, Spyglass Travel. You want a good walking tour of St. Augustine? You want some exercise at the same time you're learning history? Call our friends at Spyglass Travel. We'd love to have you go to them for a grand tour of the oldest city in the nation. Upon that, please, Davey, what is our quote of the week? Nothing is politically correct, which is morally wrong. That's an interesting one by Abe Lincoln. Nothing is politically correct, which is morally wrong. I might have to think about that one a little bit. Wow. Yeah, I've got guns. They're old guns, though. They don't do very well most of the time. But thank you very much there, my son. All right, let's see. I have everything on a piece of paper this time, and it is time. You know what I didn't do, Davey? I didn't see what was the national day of today. I forgot all about it. I bet you didn't either, did you?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's my responsibility. That's my fall down, and we'll just let it go at that. So let's just go with question of the week. Sponsored by Ancient City Sirens, our good friend Miss Gina. And she joined us yesterday when we all went to the theater together to watch Peter Pan, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Ancient City Sirens, they're a good, staunch ally of the St. Augustine Swashbucklers and the Captain's Quarters podcast. What is our question of the week, Davey? Have you ever been to live theater before? I have, in several times, and I'll open this up. I have been to a showing of The King and I with Yul Brynner at the theater in Ford's Theater, I think it was, in Washington, D.C. I've also been to the Wolf Trap Theater in Maryland, where I saw Doug Henning perform a magic show live, plus a couple of other smaller Arizona Theater Company for Midsummer Night's Dream and Dracula, which I actually was on the work team for all of those, helping for those last two. Davey, I bet you've been to some live theater before.
Oh yeah.
Crossing the Sword, that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So we'll see if anybody else has anything to say about live theater. Live theater, there's nothing like live theater, and I think it's one of the reasons why I still enjoy being a magician and comic. I get to do all of my work live. Nothing I do as far as magic or comedy that gets put on video. Nothing. I don't even like watching myself. So that we'll see. And Scarlett said she went to a murder mystery show at the Valerie Theater in Iverness. That's good. Today is National Egg Day, Chocolate Macaroon Day, and National Repeat Day. Today is National Egg Day, Chocolate Macaroon Day, and National Repeat Day. Today is National Egg Day. Well, you get the idea. Let's see. Ransom Mayhem said he saw the Robber Bridegroom at Ford Theater in Washington, D.C. Very good. And I've been in live theater more than I've attended live theater. Oh, that's good to know, too. And, of course, Miss Donna there, live theater is much better than dead theater. Should I repeat that one because it's National Repeat Day? Very good. Yes, live theater is much better than dead theater. We like hearing it. So, and Miss Donna has been on some. Jim, you beat me to it. Egg pun intended. Oh, good one, Will the Historian. Beat me to it. Hey, that's pretty good. All right, at least the messages are all coming through. There's Judy. I had a coconut chocolate chip cookie. Does that count? Of course it does. Very good. All right. Well, at least all the messages are coming through and they're not all scrambled. Okay. Come on, Davey. That's funny. You should laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mandy, she's has no internet, but she's working on it. I think she rebooted, and so I think we'll have her in a moment.
All right, that's good.
Oh my gosh, Zachary has something.
Haven't had the chance to see a live show in a long while, but when I was a child, my grandmother would take me to a local theater house that had a new show every few months. You know, I bet Miss Donna will have a positive about this, but you know, one of the first things I ever saw in live theater was when I was in high school, and then I ended up participating in something that I think was pretty popular through all the schools back in our time, and that was the play Our Town. Davey, did you have anything to do with that one?
No.
No.
The only one, well, when we did Tom Sawyer at the old amphitheater, that's when I met Donna. All the fourth grade in our St. Johns County School District, they all got to come in as a field trip to see that.
I remember when I was in grade school that we went to a couple of live theater performances. They took the kids out. Theater is very important. What does Will the Historian say? You know what? I have control over that. Duh. There we go. Live theater is fun when you're a part of it. I was in Godspell and A Midsummer Night's Dream while in college. Godspell was an interesting one. Very good. What part did you play, Will the Historian? Do you remember? I'd be interested in that one. There was a trivia question on the ship. Kara and I, when we went on the ship, we went to a couple of trivia days. They had trivia at different times, and one of them was trivia of the 1970s. So since we're talking about theater, let's see if I can stump anybody. What theater play was a rock opera in the 1970s that became very popular? Davey, do you know what it was?
No.
It was pretty much one of the very first rock operas. Now, almost everybody said, gosh, I can't think of the name of it. What's the one with the remember the actor that we got to see?
Rocky Horror.
Yeah, everybody said it was Rocky Horror, but Rocky Horror didn't come out. I think Rocky Horror was in the 1980s, maybe the 1990s, but I think the 80s. So I'm just kind of waiting, holding back to see. There it is. Judy got it. Jesus Christ Superstar. Absolutely right. Nobody else. That was the one question. Everybody was dancing around saying they all knew it, and I jumped up and had to say, and it was Jesus Christ Superstar. Godspell came out. Oh, my son was the simple disciple in Godspell. Godspell came out after Jesus Christ Superstar, and I don't remember when Rock of Ages came out, but it was Jesus Christ Superstar. Very good, Judy. You get an extra point. We're going to start having to keep a point thing here because I'm going to ask more questions because I like it when I ask questions and I see everybody joining in. So very good. So, Davey.
Hey, I got us back on Instagram. Okay.
What's that?
I said I got us back on the Instagrams.
Yeah, we're having, and those of you that are watching, ladies and gentlemen, if you try to watch us via Instagram, sometimes Instagram poses us a problem.
We're
not
back on.
sure why, but we're back on it. You played Demetrius in Midsummer Nights. Very good. All right. So keep those messages and comments coming in about live performances and live theater. We'll break around and do something about it. But for now, it's This Week in Nautical History. And This Week in Nautical History is always sponsored by our good friends at Florida Water Tours. You want a great view of the oldest city in the nation from the Matanzas Bay? Donna said Rocky Horror was in 1975. Okay, very good. How about that? For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, This Week in Nautical History with the Florida Water Tours.
Welcome to This Week in Nautical History, sponsored by our friends at Florida Water Tours. Experience the Intercoastal Waterway at its finest, featuring picture-perfect attractions. We begin this week in nautical history in the year 1629. Dutch East Indian ship Batavia wrecks on Morning Reef off the Outman of Brohos, Western Australia, with 200 survivors. Only 70 survive after 3 months due to mutiny and murders. 1665, Duke of York and the British fleet defeat the Dutch off the coast of Lowestoft, first fleet action of the Second Dutch War. 1692, an earthquake in Port Royal kills 3,000 and sinks the cemetery where Henry Morgan was buried into the sea. 1799, naturalist Alexander von Humboldt and Amy Bonapland set sail in Pizarro from Corunna, Spain, beginning their 5-year expedition to Latin America. 1803, British explorer Matthew Flinders arrives in Sydney, becoming the first person to circumnavigate Australia, proving it is one continent. 1829, HMS Pickle captures the armed slave ship Voladora off the coast of Cuba. 1863, CSS Alabama captures Talisman in the mid-Atlantic. 1935, French liner SS Normandy sets Atlantic crossing record of 4 days, 3 hours, and 14 minutes on her maiden voyage. 1941, first U.S. Navy vessel construction as mine layer USS Terror launched from the Philadelphia Navy Yard. And finally, in 1944, U-505 becomes the first German submarine captured and boarded on high seas by the U.S. Navy. And that was This Week in Nautical History.
Very good, Davey. Very good. That bit about Captain Morgan in the cemetery, I tell everybody, when I tell the story of Captain Morgan, that he wanted to be buried at sea when he passed on, and they did not put him there. They put him in the cemetery, and then the earthquake comes along and takes his grave right out into the water. So I guess he did finally get buried at sea. At least that's what I tell everybody. It's a good story. Good job, Davey. Always good. It is time for us to talk about new adventures, but because it's summertime, there's not a whole lot of new adventures going on, and many of the other crews are not doing much at this point in time either. We kind of slow down right now, which is good because sometimes it's hot wearing all of our clothing out there. So it's kind of a relax to catch up on things. And as far as I know, the St. Augustine Swashbucklers are making plans to start working and building everything spooktacular starting in July. But we have June to relax and see how things go. Now, let's see. Is there anything else that we could talk about in the upcoming?
Captain, doesn't the Seawolves Privateer have something this weekend?
They have something going on this weekend, but it's not open to the public.
Okay.
It's a private event. We'll talk about it real quick, though, for sure. They do a Pirates and Mermaid party for all the foster children in the Flagler County area. I know the Powder Monkey is going to be there making an appearance. Captain Mayhem's going to do a magic show and teach a magic station somewhere there and have some fun with them. And I know there'll be mermaids there, and some of the crew of the Swashbucklers will be there to help them out. So that is this Saturday evening coming up. I will be at the Pirate Museum for most of the morning and then I will be at the Pirate Museum again all day on Sunday. If you want to come out and take a tour, please do. We'd love to have all of you coming out taking tours of the Pirate Museum. I know that the Seawolf Privateers are working on something for a private tour with Captain Mayhem, and I'm working on some other possibilities through the summertime for any groups that want to take a tour. I don't think there's much else. We had talked about our t-shirt deal, and because of the way things have gone and me being away, we have fallen down on this. So I will be rebuilding that, and I think we're going to go ahead and make it a full-time, full through the summer, so that we can collect even more food and more money for the Humane Society. I was just talking with my contact over there, and everybody's kind of worried right now because this is going to look like possibly a very rough, heavy hurricane season. So everybody's worried, including the Humane Society. So we want to help them make sure they have plenty of food on hand. So let's just see what happens. If we can go ahead and revamp this t-shirt sale, and with plenty of time now, we'll go ahead and keep working on it and get it going and jump it off. So I'll make a change to that poster. We'll extend it out until probably August and then go with that. The t-shirt company is allowing me to do this also. So let's see what we can do about making it worth our while all the way around. I see Captain Blackheart. September 3rd, give or take 2 weeks, is when we'll have hurricane effects. My prediction. Yes, I believe that we're not going to have to worry about anything until the last part of August. September, I hope not too far into October because of Spooktacular. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how things go. But that is Captain Blackheart of the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum. We're going to have him on board our show here shortly because he's taken up diving, and he has gone on a couple of diving expeditions, and he's got a couple more planned. And I believe, if I remember right, he has an underwater camera. So we might get some really good pictures of some things that lurk beneath where all the diving is. So we'll see what happens. That's one of my other chores, is to work on having Monday nights filled all the way up through the end of the year. I know that the sheriff is going to be on board. We actually have a guest that's going to be running for sheriff in Pima County, Tucson, Arizona, a good friend of my wife's. They've been school friends since grade school. And we thought we would bring him on via remote and talk to him about the sheriff's things going on out in Arizona also. Trying to expand our horizons, ladies and gentlemen. Expanding our horizons is very important. So we hope that you will, if you have an idea on something or somebody that would make a good guest with the show, we'd love to get them on. Thinking about it right now off the top of my head, Will the historian, you need to talk to my good friends over there at the Goat Brewery up there in Coleman, Alabama. I've been wanting to get him on the show for over a year now, since your wedding, in fact. So let's see if we can get them on board. So if anybody has any great ideas, bring them up to us. Send them to us right here, or talk to us right here, or send us an email, and we'll give you our email at the end of the show. Oh, well, I'll give you your email right now. Davey's always right on it. I appreciate that. And if I haven't said it enough, I have to say this. If it wasn't for Davey, I'd just be sitting here telling things and not being able to do everything right. Davey is the one that's keeping up with everything behind the scenes. So let's see what we can do. Upon that note, we don't have a guest tonight, but we want to talk about Zoika's dance troupe, because a bunch of us went to the showing of Peter Pan on Sunday. First, let me read the information that they gave us. There's their website at the bottom. But ladies and gentlemen, Zoika's Dance is a comprehensive dance school in St. Augustine. They welcome dancers of all ages to grow as artists and individuals and achieve their dreams. For more information, there's their website. There's information for them. You can follow them on Instagram and Facebook, also at Zoika Dance. Zoika Dance, the leader of that, is Miss Zoika Garcia, a former professional dancer from Cuba. And this is some information about her. She is the founder of Zoika Dance in St. Augustine, Florida, a professional dancer, choreographer, and teacher. Zoika is a former principal dancer with the National Opera of Cuba and Capizio, I hope I said that right, Capizio Ballet of Bolivia. She has traveled extensively as a dancer and choreographer, participating in festivals and winning awards at international competitions in ballet and contemporary dance. Zoika is the former artistic director and choreographer of Capizio Ballet in La Paz, Bolivia, and the former owner, artistic director, and choreographer of Zoika Dance in Guatemala. A native of Cuba, Zoika attended the Superior Institute of Art in Havana, where she earned a master's degree in ballet and fine arts with honors. She continued her studies as a teacher, dancer, and choreographer, receiving a postgraduate teaching degree in ballet and character dance methodology, and a certificate in musical theater and dance from Opera Lyrical of Cuba. Zoika is also a certified fitness instructor and personal trainer with in-depth knowledge and experience in conditioning for dancers. I can tell you that watching those dancers this past weekend, they've done some real good work. Zoika's Dance will be preparing Peter Pan again next year, and the date's already been set for May 24 and 25 of 2025. I've already promised that the Captain's Quarters podcast will do anything and everything we can to be included to help them with promoting and advertising. And I will be bringing Miss Garcia on board to be a guest on the show, if not once, maybe several times during the year, because they also have something else going on. Their next production will be Christmas Fantastique on December 7th and 8th at the Lewis Auditorium in St. Augustine. Christmas Fantastique tells the classic holiday story of the Nutcracker with a twist, featuring ballet and exciting contemporary dance styles, including tap, hip-hop, jazz, contemporary, and acro dance. This will be the fourth year that we are bringing the production to the audiences in St. Augustine, and I can tell you it is a delight every year people look forward to. And it is part of the Night of Lights celebration of St. Augustine. I can also tell you that I know another dance troupe that works with them. They were in Peter Pan when I was Captain Hook 8 years ago, and that is Noise Complaint. And Jen may be watching the show tonight. If not, we are going to have her on board, and we're working on bringing Noise Complaint to a couple of our other events. Great tap dancing group that Noise Complaint is. But that's the information on Miss Zoika Garcia and all the good that she's brought to St. Augustine with the children. And there were children of all ages there. Did you notice that, Davey?
Yes, especially the little fairies, and there's a couple 3-year-olds, I think.
There were some, those two of those little fairies couldn't have been more than 3 years old, and they were adorable. I don't know if we have a picture of them. There's a picture of everybody. If you look right there in the very front next to Peter Pan, there's one of them right there. And I do have to say, my goodness, the dancing abilities of all of these dancers was just amazing. It was a wonderful show. We went to the 1 o'clock show, and it is, well, I can't say enough. It was just wonderful. Let's see. Do we have a,
I do. I have.
Go ahead. What have you got, Davey? You set up stuff, so you go ahead and I'll talk about it. So this was a pirate production. It was amazing. And the tap dancers were part of the Noise Complaint. Look to the back there, standing at the back with his hands on his hips. That's an 18-year-old dancer. And you've got to watch him when he jumps in the air. He is an amazing dancer. It's live. He graduated high school from Pedro Menendez this year, or he did graduate this year. Watching. Production numbers of the pirates and all these children did, and of course, the Noise Complaint dancers, they're not children, they're all young adults. It was just amazing. Look at him dance. Look at him fly. Was amazing what they did. It truly was. Do you have the video from were you able to load the video from the time that I did?
Oh, of course. I have that version too.
Oh, well, can we see that now?
Of course. I pieced together little bits.
Oh, okay. Very good. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and the person that played Captain Hook in this show did a wonderful job, and he is he's attached to Jen of Noise Complaint. I hate to make a mistake here, but I can't remember if they are if they're married or just a couple. If you're watching, Jen, my apologies for not knowing that for sure. Let's see here. Brian Budd, as a parent of dancers of Zoika, we greatly appreciate the support of Captain Mayhem and his crew. Thank you for coming out and supporting local St. Augustine talent. It was indeed a joy to do that, Bud. I truly, when I did the show 8 years ago, the fun for me was just working with all those children. And my estimation is that in that show then, and then this show here, there was at least 80 children in the show. It was just amazing. One of the things I noticed, I have to point this out, and we don't have a picture or video part of it, but when the mermaids came out, I think there were either 6 or 8 girls that were in mermaid outfits, and they had these little mermaid tail dresses on, and they were very close cut for their ankle. They would not open up. They were. No. I can't even think of what I want to use to describe it. But they danced in what in ballet is called on point, which means
the whole time, which is hard.
They were on the whole time, and that had to have been about a 5-minute routine at least, if not longer. I was just truly amazed that all of them, not one of them faltered, not one of them fell. They danced on their toes the entire routine of the mermaids. It was, I was just amazed. Pardon me. It was, the whole thing was just there. And there's Tinkerbell, and she's laughing at me, and they're all laughing, but she's laughing at me because some of you may know that I get somewhat misty-eyed emotional at things that I think are just wonderfully superb. So if you want to use plain words, yeah, I probably cried. But it was just, and so when I went up there to say congratulations to them, they all looked at me and went, "Are you crying?" Of course, I had to go, "Well, no," but they were laughing and they thought it was just so cute and sweet. But they were amazed too, or surprised, because they had come. All of them had come to the Pirate Museum earlier in the week to do a video. And Davey, pardon me, I bet you didn't get that video to show tonight, did you? Is there a possibility you can grab it?
I think so.
So I said I was going to go to the show, and I showed up, and then I went up on stage at the end of the show to congratulate them on such a great show. They are wonderful, wonderful dancers. The young lad that plays Peter Pan, amazing.
Oh, yes.
Tinkerbell, Tiger. So it's Tiger Lily, Wendy, Peter Pan, and Tinkerbell. Those are your four of your 5 major characters in the story of Peter Pan. And they are just all, so I believe Peter Pan, he told me he was in the show when I was Captain Hook 8 years ago. He's now like 18 or 19 years old. Same with Tinkerbell. They are all like seniors in high school or out. I think, in fact, she's out and getting ready to go to college. And then Tiger Lily was like 15 or 16, if I remember, and I don't remember Wendy, but they all just have such great talent. And their great talent is probably also a great show of what a great teacher Miss Zoika Garcia is. I mean, it was just amazing. Did you find that video?
That's the other thing. So everybody that's viewing us tonight, these were not. Sometimes when groups perform, they bring in professional outside talent, but these were all students.
All of them,
and they were phenomenal. It was amazing. What they were able to do. I was really impressed, and I've seen a lot of shows whether it be ballet or that was incredible. I was really impressed with a lot of them. The young boy that played Jonathan.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, he was
Yes.
leading. I mean, with the Indian, he was doing. He was doing a little drum solo on the stage. I mean, I was impressed with what these guys were doing.
Yeah, and here's another point about his little drum solo. He didn't miss a beat,
Nope.
slow down, or have a hiccup in any way, shape, or form in the rhythm of that whole segment. Not once. That caught my attention because I told Gina, I leaned over and told Gina I'd have screwed that up halfway through. I'd have lost track or gotten all messed up with the timing. It is just and his dancing ability was fantastic.
Yep.
You know, I think this is one of the reasons I like watching what they're doing, because it wasn't just ballet. I mean, I've jokingly told everybody that when I was in the ballet of Peter Pan 8 years ago, I've had a few people go, "Really?" And I said, "Yes, I was in the ballet and I didn't wear a tutu." And that's jokingly, that opens it up for me to tell people they've mixed all varieties of dance in this. It wasn't just ballet. They mixed.
She also, they also teach musical theater too.
Yes. So
it's more than just ballet. They teach jazz, tap. Great.
And they use a variety of different music too. The whole thing was just, as Judy just put on the page there, it was phenomenal. It was wonderful. It was a lot of fun. And there's me last year being Captain Hook, looking over the map, planning the demise of Wendy with Tinkerbell. I was. Now, when they brought in dancers, they brought in a ballet dancer, an adult ballet dancer for Peter, and an adult ballet dancer for Tinkerbell. But this year, I noticed that they didn't. The only one really was Captain Hook. Everybody else, as far as I could tell, the woman that played the nanny in the first scene and the last scene was an adult, I believe. But I believe almost everybody else. I mean, it was just.
Yes, that's what I was so impressed with.
Hey, everybody have some patience here, because I just see a message that they just sent. So let me see if it's in my
good.
email.
That's what I want. I will take care of it.
We've got it. Let's see if I've got the link there. Here it is. Where it is.
The Little Mermaids are awesome.
Let's see. Where did they send it, though? I don't see it in my email. Oh, wait. There it is right there. Stand by. Sometimes technology is wonderful. Let me call it up. Davey, I'm going to put it in your Facebook thing. Is that all right?
Yes, do that, and then I can take it from there.
Hold on, everybody. We're going to put it in here. There it is right there. Davey, I am dropping it in your box right there. See if you got it.
Good, cool. Let's see.
And ladies and gentlemen, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 7. See, I thought 6 or 8. I was right in the middle. But that they were. I just. So since I have somebody from Zoika Dance just gave us that, maybe they can answer a quick question. How old were those girls? Can you answer that question for me while we're here getting ready to call it up? How old were those young ladies? You got it, Davey?
You sent it to me how?
In your Facebook thing.
Okay.
Oh shoot! Wait a minute, Davey. I dropped it in the wrong one. Give me a minute. I dropped it in somebody else's because I wasn't paying attention. Let me remove that and do it all over again. What a knucklehead. Ladies and gentlemen, I get all wrought up with all this technology. So there, do you see it now? Now you know what?
Yes.
Now you know where the rum's always gone. You're right. And I'm not drinking rum, by the way. I'm drinking cherry juice. They were 12 to 16 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Their dancing abilities is phenomenal. It really, truly is. And Davey now has it, and we're going to show it to you. Ready?
Yeah, let's see if it'll. It'd be one of two ways. If it's too big for me, I can do it another way. So let me see.
Okay.
So let me do
Whatever
it.
you need to do while you're doing that, I'll tell you what, while you're doing that, let me pop a couple more pictures up, all right? When you're ready, you just tell me.
Oh, good. It's letting me load it. Yay.
Good. Let me pop
Yeah,
a couple.
I put a whole mess of pictures of us attending. So
Yeah, so let's see if I can find a couple of pictures here. So there is,
she said the mermaid's about 12 to 16.
yep, there's all the pirates of the St. Augustine swashbucklers showing up to support. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
With Captain Hook.
And Captain Hook standing in the middle there.
There's 2 of those.
Yeah, here's the other one. The other one is with me. I loaned him my hook so he could put my hook on. That's a good one. Let's see what else. There's us together. He did a wonderful job. He really did. And he was very complimentary and said that there were awful big shoes to fill. But the only reason there's big shoes to fill is because I wear a size 13 pirate boot. Other than that, he did just fine. And that was the other thing, too. Nothing about this year's show was the same as the last show. Everything was different. The music was different. The costumes were different. The choreography was different. Everything was different. It made it a completely different, totally different show. And it was just really fantastic. I will say this, though. I think Captain Hook should have had to have danced with a little bit more with the crocodile.
I got the mermaids.
All right, put it up there, Davey.
Notice that they're on point.
Toes. Is that all they had of it?
Yeah. But I
Okay.
showed them they did that for almost 5 minutes. I mean,
It had to have been at least a 5-minute routine, ladies and
that's
gentlemen.
not easy to do.
And there were people in the lobby enjoying. Look at that, kids enjoying hanging out. Yes, I have a new hairstyle. I'm thinking about keeping it. It truly was a lot of fun, and it was an honor to be asked to come and enjoy with them. I'm looking at a couple of other pictures here. What's this one?
That's
That's the final curtain call for the entire cast right there. It was just there's not enough words to say. They just did a wonderful job. These kids were true entertainment troopers. I was truly impressed with the entire operation and everything about it. And Captain's Quarters Podcast wants to help do whatever we can next year to promote it even more and have some fun and do some more fun things to make it an even bigger event by helping them out and being a part of whatever they would like us to do. So let's look at a couple of the pictures. I'm going back into the picture files and see what we have here. There, we saw that one already. Me getting to hang out with the 4 stars of the show. Amazing. There's Captain Hook right there. There's a couple of our pirates. That's Tina Ben and Shortstop. Yeah, Payton. There's Miss Gina with Mr. Davey. Miss Gina is the owner and choreographer of Ancient City Sirens. When we were walking over, there was a little boy that was just, he wouldn't shake the hook, but he would shake my hand. So he was a lot of fun. What else is this one? Here we are just walking along St. George Street. No, not. We're walking in on the street in front of Flagler College.
Yep.
And there's another one of us gathering, all of us gathering on the steps. You saw that one already. Now that is me as Captain Hook the last time, and that's my wife making a funny face, and that is my granddaughter Lily, who is now no longer cute and little anymore. There's that one, and I think that's all the pictures we had. I think that's pretty much covers it. Did you have any other videos, Davey, or are we good?
The only other video that sent me was one that somebody took of everybody in the audience.
Did you get the good copy or the secondary copy?
I don't. I don't. I don't.
How
I
about
don't
the
know. It's one of them.
how about the video that they created out of the Pirate Museum? Were you able to pull that up off of
Oh,
somebody's page?
Zoika's Dance said that they sent me Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, but you haven't sent that to me.
All right, let's see. They're sending it to my email. Just sent you Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Let's see if we can pull that one up. Stand by. We've got another one coming in. There it is there. Let's make sure I drop it in the right box this time too. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, good. This is going to be a good one. Davey, it is in.
Now that one, who put that? Did you put that one on the page of the of them at the museum?
They created it, and then I put it on several pages.
But did they send it to you?
They didn't send it to me directly. It's on my Facebook page. But I just dropped this other one in your box. Go ahead and put that one up.
Okay.
Let's see if they can send me in the. Wait, I may have it in another email. Let me see if I can find it while you're doing that. Go ahead. Are you pulling it up?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to load up. I'm gonna put on the Tinkerbell Peter Pan. All right.
I do have the link to the other one. I'll drop it in your box.
You drop it in my box, and I'm getting ready to show the Peter Pan and Tinkerbell video. That's nice of them to.
It's nice to have people that are throwing it at us as fast as we can cover it. And there's another link in your box.
Okay, here's Peter Pan and Tinkerbell.
Go ahead. That was a good one. And
now I got
video.
the museum one.
Go ahead, pop that one up there now. So I'll tell you one of the reasons why some of it made me emotional. I'll go ahead and fess up here. Peter Pan, the story of Peter Pan is probably my most favorite childhood story of all. There are a few times where I remember our grandmother on my mother's side of the family sharing the stories with us. And I remember the very first television performances of Peter Pan as a play on TV. Peter Pan was played by a woman, believe it or not, Mary Martin. And Peter Pan has always been something that's been a part of my life in some way, shape, or form. And wow, it just, and then to go to be a part of it 8 years ago was amazing. But to sit in the audience and then watch it from a different point of view, we will do whatever we can to help Zoika dance. Put them on the show a couple of times and talk about it. And I'd like to have them on the show before their Christmas one too. So let's advertise for your Christmas one via podcast. We'll talk about when we can do it, what's the best time to start talking about it. And then let's get ready to talk about Peter Pan in 2025. I personally thank those that are there that were watching from Zoika's Dance. I hope you'll remain fans and followers and watchers of our show. And I thank you all for providing extra help, putting some extra videos on to share with our people, our friends, our fans, and our followers. The best part about this show is, even if it doesn't look like we have much of an audience tonight, the show downloads and it is out there forever and ever for people to watch. So you can go and get the link to this particular show for those of you at Zoika that want to share it with anybody that didn't get to watch it tonight. And the more people that watch it, the more our numbers go up and the more things that happen good for us. So please do share it with everybody that you can. You said Elena, I'm gonna butcher that last name. Elena Geluk for videography. If I butchered it, my apologies. I'm a pirate. I don't speak well anyway. And it was... Davey, you have any final words on Peter Pan?
Like I said, I've been doing shows for decades, but I was so impressed with this being students and stuff. This is by far, this was on the caliber that you would expect to see, better than some of the adult ones. I mean, this was really, really good.
It was. You say decades. I've been a professional magician in some way, shape, or form since I was 16. I'm 66 now. That's 50 years. That's 5 decades I've been a performer. 50 years. I have seen some wonderful, wonderful performances, and I've seen some that were not so good. This one here has got to be in the very top of my list of wonderful performances, and I can only imagine that next year will be even better. So it was a joy to be a part of it. I was flattered to be asked to be a part of it this year to help and be in the audience and do what we could, and I look forward to doing even more. So upon that note, though, as much as I'd like to sit here and talk about dance, we have a few more things to do in the show. So one last thank you very much to Zoika, all of her troupe, all of her school, all of their talent for a wonderful show. And I know for a fact that all of my pirates simply enjoyed having the opportunity to go out and do something where they just got to dress as pirates and sit and enjoy the ambiance and the atmosphere of a good show. It really was wonderful. Upon that note, ladies and gentlemen, we do have, we want to talk real quick about Flag Day. Flag Day is next week, and we may miss it. So I wanted to do a couple things about Flag Day. Davey, shall we start with a video?
Yeah, I got one.
Flags
Flags of the American Revolution.
What's that?
Flags of the American Revolution.
Let's do that. Let's do Flags of the American Revolution to start with.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are flags from the American Revolution, the very beginning of our time as a fledgling young company or country. Many of the different divisions, the different groups, the different communities had their own flags, and flags are very, very, very important to a lot of people. I know that when I joined the military, the United States military flag took on a very much bigger, much greater meaning to me than I had actually thought about while I was growing up. I know that my good friend Captain Blackheart there was in the Navy, and I bet he would probably agree with me fully that flags are the thing that is the glue that holds a group together in their purpose and in their direction. And these are all flags that are bona fide, real flags created during the American Revolution. Some of them you might actually have recognized, like the Betsy Ross flag. Now, one of the reasons we're showing the flags, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to talk about something else in just a few minutes. But for now, how much longer does this one go, Davey? It's almost done, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So, see, there's one that everybody probably knows. And some of these you may not have known where they came from or where they were or what they were. So you now have this as a reference tool to get Archelaus, the Cowpens flag. Look at that. The Easton flag, 1812, War of 1812. Come and take it. Texas American Revolution. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Flags have a big meaning to everybody. They're very, very important. They are the glue that holds a group together. They are the thing that instills loyalty, integrity, and honor. And flags are very important. Now, there is a flag that has popped up in recent times. Davey, you got a picture of that flag? An appeal to heaven. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to explain a couple of things about this flag because it's been popping up a lot lately, and some of the media has been destroying the honor of this flag. So all I want to do is give you facts. No opinions, facts. This flag, which is also sometimes called the pine tree flag, is a relic of the American Revolution and represents strength against tyrannical foe. As with all long-used symbols, the pine tree flag has a rich history of uses and continues to shift its connotations over time. It is a Revolutionary War flag commissioned by George Washington himself, based upon John Locke's statement that when all other alternatives of seeking justice have been exhausted, only an appeal to heaven remains. Now, some people take that as a direct line of 100% Christianity. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not going to interpret on that, and I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. What did the original appeal of the flag look like? Well, it was a white field charged with a green pine tree and the words, "An appeal to heaven," in capital letters above the tree. The pine tree is a traditional symbol of New England. The phrase appeal to heaven appears in John Locke's second treatise on government, which is used to describe the right of revolution. It is a historical flag, and the information I just gave you is historical means. But upon that note, let's do this week in history. Oh, this one is a good one. You got a couple of pictures. I forgot, Davey. My apologies. An appeal to heaven, the pine tree flag of the United States Navy, 1775. I believe Captain Blackheart knew that one. What's the other one? There was another one that's really good. There it is right there. These are flags that were very important in everything that went on in the American Revolution. The American Revolution was a revolution against injustice. A lot of people may not understand their their American history, but the citizens of the 13 colonies were British citizens. One of the things that caused a lot of problems was they were being taxed twice. Everything that they grew and manufactured or created had to go to England. For example, tobacco, then was cut down, created into pipe tobacco or cigars or whatever else they could do, and then sent back to the colonies, and they could buy it back, but they had to pay taxes on it again. That's called taxation without equal representation. That was the main cause of the American Revolution. Annexing a person's home. When the British military was in place, they could take your home away from you with no other means for you to fight back on it. If you watch some of the American Revolution stories, the history, you'll find out that everything about what they were doing was for just cause, equal cause for the people. And it's why our forefathers created what they created. The government is not there to run your life. The government is there to protect your life. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let us have This Week in History.
Sponsored by?
Oh, I should know that. Sponsored by Dick's Wings. Dick's Wings, you want a good lunch? If you want to join me for lunch sometime and talk over our show or just have a good time, pick a date. We'll go have lunch at Dick's Wings and enjoy that, and let the guys, the boss and the guys that run Dick's Wings know that we're still supporting them. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dick's Wings sponsors every week This Week in History.
Welcome to This Week in History, sponsored by our good friends at Dick's Wings Bar and Grill. Wings, salads, wraps, quesadillas, and more. No matter what your taste buds crave, they've got you covered. We begin This Week in History in the year 1549. Book of Common Prayer is adopted by the Church of England. 1665. Great Plague of London. Samuel Pepys writes in his Diary of Houses, marked with a red cross in London's Drury Lane, meaning somebody inside is infected with the plague and must be locked in for 40 days or until death. 1769. American frontiersman Daniel Boone ascends Pilot Knob, setting sight on the fertile hunting grounds of what is now known as the Bluegrass region of the state of Kentucky. Exact date disputed. 1781. Jack Joulet rides to warn Thomas Jefferson of British attack. 1851. Anti-slavery novel Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, first published in serial form in the National Era. 1863. Battle of Milliken's Bend, Louisiana. Jefferson Davis's home burnt. 1864. General Robert E. Lee wins his last victory of the U.S. Civil War at the Battle of Cold Harbor. 1912. The eruption of Nova Rupta in Alaska begins the largest volcanic eruption of the 20th century. 1939. George VI and Elizabeth become the first king and queen of Britain to visit U.S. 1940. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill delivers his famous "We shall fight on the seas and oceans" speech to the UK House of Commons. 1946. First bikini bathing suit displayed in Paris. 1961. American President JFK and Soviet Premier Khrushchev meet in Vienna. 1968. American radical feminist Valerie Solanas attempts to assassinate Andy Warhol by shooting him 3 times. She is later diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and pleads guilty to reckless assault with intent to harm, serving a 3-year sentence. 1984. Ghostbusters, American supernatural comedy film directed and produced by Ivan Reitman, starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson, premieres. 2017, The Amazing World of Dr. Seuss Museum opens in Springfield, Massachusetts. And finally, in 2023, New York's air quality sinks to the lowest in the world, Air Quality Index 218, as smoke from Canadian wildfires blankets the American Northeast. And that was this week in history.
Very good, Davey. Very good. I see something. I was looking at a couple things right here. I've always loved the quote, people should not be afraid of the government, but rather the government should be afraid of the people. Excellent quote. Excellent quote. We might end up here shortly in a week or two or three, have an actual conversation about what freedom of speech really is. Watching things going on in the world today or in our country today, I firmly believe that almost nobody understands what freedom of speech is, or at least the people that are speaking the loudest. But we'll get on with that. For now, though, Davey, you did a good job, but it's time for the across the desk from the captain.
Yep.
So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I like to write. And sometimes when I like to write, I like to use a little bit of humor, maybe not always humorous, some sarcasm, but trying to bring a point home for people to just think about. Not finding fault with anybody, just a point for people to think about. I always write it down, read it, rewrite it, reread it, rewrite it at least 3 or 4 times before I bring it to the show. Today I was a little more rushed and I tried to make it short. Last week it was 2 pages. Today it's only 1. So let's see what happens. Tonight, I ask that we consider the idea that a rose is just a rose. But to the holder of the rose, the symbolic meaning is theirs and theirs alone, until such time that they wish to share it. The look, the feel, the smell of the rose may be in the person that holds it something that elicits many thoughts, feelings, and a direction for their life. It is wrong for anyone else to assume anything at all about that person's feeling about the rose until such time that that holder of the rose wishes to share it with those around them. Symbolism, the use of symbols to represent ideas or qualities. Symbolic, meaning attributed to natural objects or facts, i.e., to represent, to express, to identify. Symbols of history, cannot, repeat, not be 100% interpreted as to the full-on meaning unless you can go back in time and talk to the creator of that symbol. We have no idea what was in their mind and their heart. Granted, we have history books and documentation to aid in our efforts to piece together the meaning of many things in history. But we will never, ever, ever be 100% right. Never. I firmly believe that as a historian. We will never be right. It's just not going to happen. People constantly misuse or misconstrue the meaning of certain things for their own agenda. In some cases, the people using the symbol for their purpose and drive, and in other cases, those outside ridiculing the symbol because of their own slanted view or interpretation, which usually is always opposite of the meaning meant. Words can be symbols too. Please call me a cracker. I don't mind it. In fact, I laugh. And when I explain to somebody that has called me a cracker exactly what it really means, they are the ones embarrassed because it shows they have no clue about history. Please tell me I'm a racist. Call me out because I live in the state of Florida. This has happened to me many times lately. People find out I'm from Florida. I've lost a few friends on Facebook because I'm from Florida. Call me out. Tell me that I'm a racist because I'm from Florida. The only thing it actually proves is that you're the racist because you lumped everybody in Florida into one big giant group. you're the racist. But you won't see it that way. When it comes to history, symbols and ideas of the past being used to further a goal or cause, or to destroy a goal or cause nothing in its accomplishments. I advocate an open mind over a closed mind when it comes to the discussion of history or the discussion of issues that are happening in our world today. And I'd like to give you a reminder. A mind is like a parachute. If it's not open, it does nobody any good. Think about that for a bit. We're not getting anywhere by arguing and fighting with people. Things happened very ugly last week, whether you agree or disagree. But the media isn't helping. We want everybody to have an open mind, be willing to accept a thought, a word, or a feeling. Because those closed minds will just be like without a parachute and continue falling. And the fall's not so bad. It's the abrupt stop at the very end that's the worst. Please keep that in mind. Upon that note, ladies and gentlemen, let's show. I don't have anything for guests on deck right now, Davey, because we got July 8th, and that's about it right now. I have to work on that and spend some time this week to really work on our calendar. On that note, though, joke of the week. We need to have a reveal with Mini Mayhem.
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. How do pirates prefer to communicate? The answer is by sea-mail.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a shell phone. Either way. So let's give our thank you to everybody.
The Captain's Quarters podcast is indeed a ship sailing the seas of the world, always in search of history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a ship, so we take this opportunity to thank those who help keep this ship afloat.
The cast and crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davy Longwood, Gunner Hellfire Henley, Cartographer Mandy Joe, the Powder Monkey, and Juan Cam.
Helping others gives a crew purpose. Our treasured charities that we support: Inc., investing in kids; the Humane Society of St. Johns County; Aelia's Acres, a no-kill animal rescue zone; and the Cadets of the St. Johns County Fire Department. The four major charities that we support, but there's always room for more.
You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon. A small monthly contribution as Powder Monkey or First Mate memberships, or a single contribution. PayPal or Venmo. Go to YouTube. Hit the like and follow buttons to join our ranks and support the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
Very good, Davey. Mandy hasn't made it to the show. She has some things going on. We miss her, and we'll bring her back in real soon.
She did send us the number video.
Good. There's our numbers, ladies and there's our platforms. YouTube every night at 8 o'clock or every Monday night at 8 o'clock. You'd think I was drinking rum the way I can't form a sentence all of a sudden. Spotify, Instagram, Stitcher, iHeart, Cashbox, Apple Podcast, or Amazon Music. You can find us on everything. And we're growing. And we only are growing because we have such great fans and have lots of people. So there's our platforms. And she made a thing for our numbers.
She did.
I love her. Let's see where we're at.
1564.
1564. We need one more to have the St. Augustine magic number. And then after that, well, who knows where we're going, but that's okay. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you like our show, tell everybody about it. Join us, be a part of us every week. And the show is about what you want it to be about. I have an idea of what I'd like to do, and I'd love to have all kinds of people on the show. You can sit right here with me. I slide over to the side, and I have plenty of room here to have a guest or two. We do have the sheriff of the county scheduled to be a part of the show. I have at least 2 other authors of pirate books scheduled to be on the show. I just have to work out the details and the dates. So we'd love to have everybody here. I just saw Jim post something else that I really like, so I'm going to pop it up there real quick. Never trust a headline. It's too short to be anything but an opinion. I could live with that. That's a good one. Very good, Jim. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a good show. I have a week to catch up on some other things. I thank you very much. One more time, if anybody from Zoika's Dance is watching, fantastic job. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of it, and thank you for allowing us to brag about you tonight. It was well worth being in the audience, and I look forward to Christmas and 2025. Upon that note, Davey, how do we sign off?
Oh, part of the podcast.
Part of the crew, always. We can't do it without you. We always want you around. Like us, follow us, hit all those buttons on YouTube. We'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night from the oldest city in the nation, St. Augustine, Florida.